Here we are, back at the Motiv. Today is the day I will finish this build. This bike has been a serious thorn in my side, mainly because of the brakes. Last time I worked on this build, the challenge nearly broke my motivation. Today, I'll regain it and put this bike on the showroom floor as a symbol of my victory. Welcome to the Cruiser Racer channel. I'm Rebel Lion of the Electron Rebels, and this is my creative space. I call it the Builder's Corner. The Builder's Corner is the home for electric bike enthusiasts. And in this space, we're always on the hunt for the perfect canvas. A canvas for me is a bike frame. Nothing excites me more than turning something old into something new. So if this appeals to you and you like what we like too, then subscribe to this channel. Here in the Builder's Corner, you'll learn about bike mechanics and DIY custom e-bike builds. Now, let's get to the show. Hey guys, welcome back to the Builder's Corner. This week I am back on the Motiv mountain bike. And I don't know if you remember from the last time I worked on that bike, I got so frustrated. Each time I set up the front brakes on the bike, I was met with resistance from the yoke. Now, if you're not familiar with bike terminology or bike mechanic terminology, by the end of this video, I assure you, you'll have a better understanding. For now, let's go to the shop. We interrupt this program for a word from our sponsor. Today's sponsor is Cruiser Racer. Cruiser Racer is more than just a channel on YouTube. It is an entire platform based on electric bike building and enthusiasm. The first way you can help support this channel is by liking this video and subscribing. And if you'd like to go a little further, check out our store on Teesprings. In the store, you'll find eye-popping and authentic designs from the Cruiser Racer line and the Electron Rebels. This is a great way to support this entire platform and help us grow. So head on over to the store and check out our designs today. Now back to the show. The process of running brake, shift cable, and housing is usually an easy task. The only routing job that I found to be challenging is running cables through an internally routed frame. So, once again, this is where I've started. I'm setting up the new cables and housing for both the brakes and gears. I'm finding setting up brake pads is a skill, especially if you're able to perfect toe. Setting your brakes to toe essentially means you're positioning the front of the pads to make contact with the rim surface before the entire pad touches the surface. Setting up the pads to toe in helps to keep the pads from squilling when the brakes are applied. Toe in is difficult to perfect, but once you got it, it's a cinch. And here comes the difficult part, setting up the yoke for the brake and straddle cable. This is a yoke. It's spelled Y-O-K-E. This is an important element to the cantilever setup. It is at the yoke where all the components of the brakes meet. The first brake setup looked great, although it didn't perform very well. Okay. So all of these brakes have been changed. We got new brakes on the front, new pads, new cable housing, and this is all brakes. All right, now to get started on derailleur cable and housing. Now it's time to set up the gears. I find that it's easiest to measure the new housing by comparing them to the old housing length. The cables are already attached to the gear shifts, and once the housing is cut, I'll just need to dial them in. Since I've grown my confidence around installing gears and setting up the derailleurs, this process is getting much easier the more I do it. I still stumble with certain brands, but I can say that drivetrains have become one of my favorite tasks while building bikes. And after all that playing around with the yoke, do you think my issue was resolved? Well, no. The brake cable continued to slip each time the brakes were applied. I got so frustrated, steam began to rise from my head. And then some great advice came in from a teammate. Ditch that yoke and use this one. What's happening, guys? It is the end of the day. And it's Tuesday, which will be kind of my Monday, because this is when I start back the week. And that bike really took all day. And all I did today was mess around with the cantilevers and getting them on properly. So the set of cantilevers that I was working with had this little thing here. It's called a yoke. And the yoke is what initially holds your brake cable and then your straddle cable. So the brake cable comes in through here, it threads through here, or on this side, threads through here, hangs through here, and the straddle cable goes up and around this part here. And yeah, so it holds the straddle cable up and the brake cable here, so when you pull, it pulls that straddle cable up, gripping, making the cantilevers break. I was having such an issue with this yoke, this type of yoke, because every time I would put the brake cable in and tighten it down to where it holds it, every time I pulled the brake, this would slip off of the brake cable. And I spent way too long with that. And then another coworker walked over, asked me how I was doing, and I told him how I was struggling with getting these brakes to work, and he recommended a triangle yoke, this yoke here. And this is so much better than this piece of crap that I was working with. Lately, the brake cable feeds through here, and you have these Allen screws here that you can tighten it to where it holds it in place. And then you put the the straddle cable through here, and look at that. There's also some screws here, Allen screws here, to where you can hold that even in line. And this is the key to making cantilevers work the way that they should, when it comes to me, of course. I told my coworker, I said, you messed up, man, because now every time I work on cantilevers, I'm going to be looking for these yokes. instead of the ones that come with the bike. So it was quite a challenge, but I got the bike finished and it is ready to go. So that was today. So, what do you think of the Motiv? Was it just as painful to watch? That bike really kicked my butt. And I'm happy to say that it is finished and it's already found a new home. However, the new owner will never know the amount of effort that went into restoring that bike. Unfortunately, that's bike mechanics life. And I hope that you enjoyed the adventures in bicycle mechanics today. If you enjoyed this video, please show me by fingering the like button. And if you are new to the channel, please subscribe. New content is posted twice a week just for you on Mondays and Friday. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Have a great weekend, stay safe, and ride easy.